Hey there, everybody. Again, just like all the other stuff, this is my opinions unless I put stuff in there. But uh, what I wanted to talk about is religion and the new type of religion that we have. And if you're unfamiliar with the type of religion that I mean the stuff that you can see everywhere. That if you disagree with them, you're a horrible person and you should be um, uh, have violent things happen to you, have horrible things happen to your family, yourself, where you work, maybe your business, and it's kind of similar to the Spanish Inquisition. And I've mentioned this before to other people that right now we have very similar to the Spanish Inquisition going on with if you disagree with everything that they talk about in the Green Movement, that the only way to save the Earth is renewable energies, and scientific factually, that's just blatantly wrong. You need other things besides that. You can't just get rid of all fossil fuels and replace them with renewable resources. It just doesn't work. It's not feasible. Without electricity, we're all in a third world country. That's pretty much simple for that, and that's you can easily find it. There's multiple sources out there based in factual science, not based in emotions. And another one we have is Black Lives Matter movement. With if you disagree with them, you must be a horrible racist person, which isn't true. And that if you're not with Antifa, you must be a fascist, which is, again, no. It's the same thing as that people said about religion beforehand. In early Europe, and then even in the Salem witch trials, that wasn't even as bad as the Spanish Inquisition in Spain or in England when they burned people at the stake. That you could accuse your neighbor of it, and then your neighbor would have to totally go against it, and then prove why they weren't by throwing themselves at the mercy of the mob. And then also right now we have it with transgender issues. Everybody's hurting with all of these groups, and rightfully so. There is a lot of issues with Black Lives Matter. There is racism in this country, and people say that there aren't. That's ridiculous. The systemic racism in areas is not as true as there are certain individuals that have power that are racist, and then because of that, they can use that power to harm others. And with the anti-fascism movement, a lot of the stuff that they end up doing is more fascism than anti-fascism. When you use violence to push your ideals against somebody, that gets to be more of a fascist dictatorship ideals. And it's a problem that we have. And the only way to go against these is by having an actual discussion with people, and not yelling and screaming at people. And you're going to get hate no matter what. And you just have to learn how to deal with it. There are quite a few people out there that are Islamophobic for one reason or another, and there is some validity to it because there are people that use that religion to do some horrific things because it talks about doing horrific things in that religion. But there's also people, like I said, in the Spanish Inquisition that use that to do horrific things to people. And it's about learning to grow. Most of the time, groups that affect change throughout the world have a tendency to start with violence before they finally get underneath their feet underneath them, and start to realize that the violence is not the way to push the movement forward, to push the thoughts forward, and that's just it. If you look at the people that were for the helping with climate change originally, you look at a lot of those groups, they would bomb places, they would kill people, they ended up doing some drastic measures, and it didn't really get behind the people behind the movement. And then now if you look at them, they have learned to grow up and not use violence as a way to push their ideals and bullying. They've done it through just factual science, just straight up like, hey, look, there are trends, this is what's going on. And you can get more people on board with that. And I think it's going to be the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement, is people are going to realize that, ooh, we shouldn't do it through violence. Yes, we have to keep on showing people that there are problems, that there is racism still in this country. And the only way to fight that racism is not with violence. It's with knowledge and with an open-minded voice, because the only way you're going to change someone else's perspective on this is by having that conversation with them, by asking them why they feel that way, and then just bring forth knowledge to that person, and that's how you can work and affect this change. And it's the same thing with Antifa, that if you're going to sorry about that, I had to pause the video quickly. If you are going to use your groups to make changes, it's better to do it through a slow movement that actually is more peaceful than a fast movement that's violent, because you're going to get violent pushbacks, and you're seeing it across the country. But I definitely understand the meaning behind it, that in this country we do have some almost fascism ideals, and it happens to be some type of government that we do it with, some of the corporations, that we let the corporations dictate how everything goes in this country, that we use more corporate socialism than anything else, and not capitalism in this society. And then it's just a slow growth. And then now we're also seeing with transgender that women get pushed to the side now. So when women have been fighting for rights for so long, yet now we're trying to tell people that no, they're not as worthy anymore, and that we're not supposed to hold women up, that we're supposed to take away women that have strived to break records and shatter records, that now someone else that's going to call themselves a woman come in there and just shatter it. South Park did a hilarious episode on this, and pretty much everything else. It's a great satire of today. You may not always agree with it, but hey, I don't always agree with it either. But it's just something that we're going through, and we have this new type of religion that's going on, and it's replacing the old religion. And you're seeing it with everything that's going around in today's society. So just take everything with a measured approach. It's so an easy way that you can kind of look at it as, we have a tendency to use emotions and let our emotions get out of control. So we're being more like a Sith in the major part of society than more like Jedi. So, and the Sith use their emotions to use their power, to get their power, to control things, and then to let their emotions dictate how they do things, instead of the Jedi that use their control to control their emotions. Yes, they still feel emotions, but they don't let those emotions get out of control. So they don't lash out with that anger. They still feel that anger, they can still feel that, but they don't let it control who they are. And you can learn how to do this through mindful meditation. And an easy way is mindful meditation and yoga. Breathing exercises, breathing practices, doing, some people call it a 4-square breathing. You can do a 6-square breathing, and you do 4 seconds to inhale, you pause, 4 seconds to exhale, pause, and then you do that. And it's an easy way that you can start to control your emotions. When you can control your emotions more, you will be more level-headed to make decisions, and then you don't have to make those rash decisions. And when you are in a situation that you have to make very quick decisions, you're not going to let your emotions dictate. And we like to let our emotions control us, because then we can feel better, but we can also feel worse because of it. So again, everybody, just much love, and this is me using my voice. Everybody should remember to use yours. Don't let somebody else quell your voice. Don't let somebody else tell you your voice isn't valid. Don't let someone else tell you that no, you can't feel and think that way. I'm going to link to people that are much more versed in these subjects than I am. I'm linked to a couple of them down below. But anyways, you guys take care out there. Love you all. Bye.